Taskbar.
Getting started with Windows. The aim of this section is to get you started using Windows itself. It also builds upon the skills we have started to develop.
Okay, so I'm going to learn how to use Windows with a combination of NVDA and Talon Voice Control. Let's see how far I can get through Chapter 3.
Goals for this section: familiarity with the Start menu, understanding system focus, opening a program, reporting the name of the current program, closing a program. 3.1 The Start menu. The Start.
Alright, now we're on the Start menu.
Menu gives easy access to a list of often used programs and settings. In Windows 8 it takes up the whole screen and is called Start Screen. In other versions of Windows, it takes up the lower left of the screen. To open the Start menu, press the Windows key on your keyboard.
Okay, so I need to open the Start menu by pressing the Windows key. With Talon Voice Control, that is mapped as the Super key. I don't exactly know why, but there's 3 different operating systems that Talon supports. The Super key is on all 3 of them, maybe? I don't know. Anyway, instead of Windows, I have to say the command Super. Listen, Super.
Volume level 48.
So that did open the Start menu, but it didn't say anything. Listen, Escape. That's not good, so somewhere in NVDA settings I need to make sure that I get it to tell me when I've opened the Start menu. Listen, Super.
Start window. Search window. Search box edit blank.
Okay, so it announced it that time, so that's good.
With the Start menu open, you can type the name of the program, file, or setting. You can also use the arrow keys to move around the items. To start the selected item, press Enter.
Okay, so I can use the arrow keys to move around items. I am going to try that. Listen up.
Pin tiles list. All apps list. Grouping.
Listen down.
3D viewer.
Listen down.
A grouping.
Listen down.
Access.
Okay, so using the arrow keys is moving up and down the apps menu. What happens when I use the left and right arrow keys? Listen left. Listen right. Apparently nothing.
To close the Start menu without starting anything, press the Windows key again.
Okay, so I'm going to close the Start menu without starting anything. Listen, Super.
Taskbar.
NVDA, as you move through the Start menu, NVDA will announce each item as you come to it. If you are using a Braille display, it will display the current item. Activity: exploring the Start menu. Press the Windows key to open the Start menu. Press the arrow keys to move to the various items and sections of the Start menu. NVDA will read each item as you move to it. If using a Braille display, each item will be displayed. Press the Windows key again to close the Start menu without choosing anything.
Listen, Super.
Start window. Search window. Search box edit blank.
Listen down.
Pin tiles list. All apps list. Grouping.
Listen, Tab.
Pin tiles list. Create group header grouping. Activate to rename group.
Okay, so this is a point where Chapter 3 of the NVDA book, Getting Started with the Basics of NVDA, is incorrect. Because it says that I can get any, well, doesn't say I can get anywhere, but I can move to various items and sections on the start menu using the arrow keys. This is not true. I have to use the tab key to get to a couple of sections. Let me demonstrate. Listen, tab.
Search window. Search box edit blank.
Listen, shift tab.
Pin tiles list. Create group header grouping activate to rename group.
Okay, so there's this column called the tiles group in the Windows Start menu, and I had to tab into it from the Start menu's default list in order to get to it. What happens when I go back one tab? Listen, shift tab.
All apps list. Grouping.
I have this all apps list, but what else do I need? What happens if I say shift tab again? Listen, shift tab.
Start list. Toggle start navigation menu items collapsed activate to show or hide labels.
So there's another component of the start menu called the start list that doesn't happen when you press the Windows key, because that takes you directly to the apps section. But essentially the takeaway here for me is that the Windows Start menu is now separated into three tabbed sections, three tabs. This Start menu list, which contains things like powering the computer on and powering the computer off. The apps list, which is the one that it dumps you into immediately when you press the Windows key, and this pinned tabs thing. Okay.
3.2 The system focus. The focus or system focus is the item which can currently be interacted with while moving around the start menu in the previous activity. NVDA read out each item. The item NVDA last readout was the one which currently had focus. Pressing Enter when on any item would have activated or started that item, rather than any other. NVDA can report the item which currently has focus by pressing NVDA plus tab. NVDA plus tab. That is, hold down.
Listen, NVDA tab.
Toggle start navigation menu items list item focused collapsed activate to show or hide labels.
Okay, so if I press the NVDA key plus the tab key, then it tells me where my system focus is. That's a good thing to know. Listen, tab.
All apps list. Grouping.
Listen, NVDA tab.
Grouping focused.
So I guess for me, the takeaway here is that system focus is wherever the tab key can get to, and it's just all about tabs. I mean, not all about tabs, but it's all about the tab key. If you can press the tab key to get to it, you can have the system focus be on it, and pressing the tab key with the NVDA key will tell you where exactly you are. Okay.
NVDA plus tab. That is, hold down NVDA, press the tab key, then let go of both keys. This works anywhere on the computer, but we'll practice with the start menu again in the next activity. Reporting the focus. Press the Windows key to open the start menu. Use the arrow keys to move around the start menu. Keep in mind that this moves the focus. Press.
Listen, down.
3D viewer.
Listen, NVDA tab.
3D viewer list item focused.
Listen, down.
A grouping.
Listen, NVDA tab.
A grouping focused.
Okay, so that does indeed work. If I use the arrow keys to move around the start menu, this moves the focus, and I can use the key combination NVDA tab to tell me what item has focus. I wonder if there's a way to tell approximately, quote, where I am this whole thing sort of implies that there's a sequence to everything on the computer, that either pressing the down arrows will go through a particular sequence, or pressing the tab key is also a way of going through a particular line of items, like beads on a string. If I just follow where it's taking me next, it goes from one item to the next item to the next item. And that kind of implies that there is a way to tell how far down the string from whatever start point there is I am. But maybe not. Who knows? Anyway.
If using a braille display, read the information on it. Use its pan controls if needed to read the full item name. Press Windows again to close the Start menu. 3.3 Searching for and opening programs, as well as using the Start menu to access commonly used items. You can also search for any program or file. To open a file can be anything: a photograph, a song, a document of text you have written. For this section, we'll use WordPad, which comes with Windows. You can write documents such as letters, shopping lists, or stories with WordPad. Lists or stories with WordPad.
Okay, so basically, a file can be anything. So if my computer is a junk drawer, then a file is any item that's in the junk drawer. Cool.
You may also have Microsoft Word, which has more features than WordPad. We are using WordPad, but it is installed as part of Windows, whereas not everyone will have Microsoft Word.
Everyone like me, I do not have Microsoft Word. Do I look like I'm made of money? No.
A later module available from NV Access is entirely devoted to Microsoft Word. The Microsoft Word for NVDA module builds upon the document editing skills covered in this module. One way to open WordPad is to type its name into the Start menu.
Okay, so I want to open WordPad by typing the name into the Start menu. So I need to press the super key, and then I need to type the name WordPad in. Listen, super.
Taskbar.
Listen, super.
Start window. Search window. Search box edit blank.
Dictate WordPad. Okay, that was a silly idea because I've got my dictate command heavily customized so that that doesn't actually do what I think it does. And now I have to wait while all of my customizations work their way through thinking about it.
WordPad.
Okay, so it said WordPad. That implies that it's typed WordPad somewhere. Listen, go up.
All apps list. Suggested grouping.
Listen, super.
Taskbar.
Listen, super.
Search window. Search box edit blank.
Listen, whale, odd, red, drum.
WordPad. App 1 of 1 level 1.
So what did I just do there? I spelled out W-O-R-D with the Talon phonetic alphabet. Whale is for W, odd is for O, red is for R, and drum is for D. There's a whole word for every single letter. And now my focus is on the WordPad app.
This list opens. Press Enter to open the selected item. In Windows 10, a sum down arrow keys to move through.
And the cat just walked across my keyboard, so I have to do all that again. Listen, super.
Start window. Search window. Search box edit blank.
Red. Listen, whale, odd, red.
WordPad. App 1 of 2 level 1.
Listen, enter.
War. Document WordPad window. Rich text window, edit multi-line blank.
This list of results. Press enter to open the selected item. In Windows 10, a sound is played to indicate that results or suggestions are available. Activity, opening WordPad. Press the Windows key to open the Start menu. Type WordPad. Press enter. This will open WordPad and NVDA will announce document, WordPad. Leave WordPad open. We'll use it in the next activity.
Okay, so I've successfully got WordPad open. Now what am I going to do besides prevent the cat from eating my bedazzles? Is the cat literally eating my bedazzles? What? The cat is trying to eat my plastic jewelry. Kitty, it's not edible. Not edible at all. Okay, cat rescued from a possible emergency vet. Cat clearly needs to be distracted by some petting, so we'll do that, while also continuing on.
3.4 Reporting the title of the current window in the previous activity. When WordPad opened, NVDA read document, WordPad. Document is the name WordPad uses when the file hasn't been saved, which is covered later. Many programs state both the programs' name and the file it has open. Together this is called the title of the current window. While only one program is active at any time, multiple programs may be open and even visible at once. Many low vision users prefer having the current program take up the full screen. Some fully sighted users like having each program take up only part of the screen. Several programs can appear at once, showing relevant information in each. This is where the concept of windows comes from. NVDA works the same regardless of whether a program is running full screen or in a window. To read the title of the active window at any time, press NVDA plus T.
Alright, so let's read the title. Listen, Nevada Trap.
Document WordPad.
So trap is the Talon phonetic alphabet letter for T. Listen, NVDA trap. Listen, NVDA trap.
Document WordPad.
Last activity. WordPad was opened. Let's read the title of the current window and confirm that the focus is still in WordPad. Activity. Reporting the title of the current window. Press NVDA plus T to read the title of the current window. NVDA will read document, WordPad. If it does not, go back and do the previous activity again. Press the Windows key to open the Start menu. Press NVDA plus T to read the title now.
Okay, so listen, super.
Start window. Search window. Search box, edit blank.
Listen, NVDA trap.
Search.
So that's the window title. And to report the system focus was what? Oh yes, tab. Listen, NVDA tab.
Search box, edit focused blank.
Okay.
The Start menu. Press NVDA plus T to read the title now. With the Start menu open, WordPad is no longer the current program. Remember to read the output on the Braille display as well if using one. Press the Windows key to close the Start menu. NVDA should announce that the focus is back in WordPad.
Listen, super.
Document WordPad window. Rich text window, edit multi-line blank.
Press NVDA plus T to confirm that WordPad is the active window. If using a Braille display, it will also display the title information. 3.5 Difference between program title and focus in the previous activity. NVDA plus T was pressed to read the WordPad title. Earlier, NVDA plus Tab was used to report the item which had focus in the Start menu. While both report what is active, it is important to know the difference between them. NVDA plus T reads the title and reports the name of the program which is focus and what file is open. NVDA plus Tab reports the current item which has focus, and what type of item it is, in the Start menu, as well as reporting the name of the item. NVDA plus Tab read list item. The Start menu is a list, and each item in the Start menu is an item in that list. When NVDA plus Tab is pressed in WordPad, it should indicate the focus is in a rich text window, edit, multi-line.
Listen, NVDA tab.
Rich text window edit focused multi-line blank.
As well as being able to write more than one line of text, the size or color of the text can be changed, or images added. This is known as rich text. In WordPad, the text itself is not static. It can be edited by the user. Activity, red ink window title and focus. Press NVDA plus T to read the title.
Listen, NVDA trap.
Document WordPad.
NVDA will read document, WordPad. If it does not, go back and do the previous activity again. Press NVDA plus tab to read the current item which is focus. NVDA will read rich text window, edit, multi-line focused, blank.
Listen, NVDA tab. Listen, NVDA tab.
Rich text window edit focused multi-line blank.
Using a Braille display, confirm these two commands with the Braille display. 3.6 Closing WordPad once finished using a program. It is a good idea to close it. Closing programs reduces the risk of losing a file which hasn't been saved when turning off the PC. Having only programs in use open also keeps the computer running as fast as possible. To close a program, press Alt plus F4, hold down.
Okay, so to close a program, I need to press Alt and F4. Listen, Alt F4.
NVDA tutorial NVDA Talon Basics Talon Workspace, Visual Studio Code, Application, Main Landmark, NVDA tutorial NVDA Talon Basics Talon Edit.
Okay, so that closed the program, which shifted the focus to another window I had open, which immediately started going blah 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 blah, I'm in VS Code blah blah blah. And I've got it set up so that when I hiss at it, it stops talking. And I can make it start talking again by hissing at it again.
Editor has auto-complete multi-line.
Okay, so next.
The Alt key, press
Line starts NVDA,
then
or restart.
Because F4 is on the left half of the keyboard. It is
NVDA if NVDA is already on Loyo.
Come back and write in WordPad later. But for this activity, let's practice closing it. If you typed anything into WordPad, we won't save it this time.
Okay, so the problem with having my computer stop talking whenever I hiss at it is that when it hears sibilants when speaking, it will start talking again. So that might be something I'll need to debug, possibly by making, well, okay, so it is possible to change the noise to a shh noise, but that requires like 30 times the configuration than using the hissing noise, because the hissing noise is already built in to Talon and available for me to use without, well, let's just say loads of configuration.
We'll come back and write in WordPad later. But for this activity, let's practice closing it. If you typed anything into WordPad, we won't save it this time. Activity, closing WordPad. Press NVDA plus T to ensure WordPad is the active window. Press Alt plus F4 to close WordPad. If anything has been typed into WordPad, a dialog will appear, asking, WordPad dialog, do you want to save changes to document? In this case, press the letter N. 3.7 Getting started with Windows Review. This section covered some of the key Windows concepts used when getting into and out of programs. The Start menu. Opening the Start menu, navigating around the Start menu, dismissing the Start menu, using search from the Start menu, the System Focus, understanding the System Focus, know how to have NVDA report the currently focused control using a Braille display to read the focused control, searching for and opening programs using the Start menu, identifying the current program. Having NVDA report the name of the current program, understanding the information given with the name of the program, closing a program activity, getting started with Windows Review, open the Start menu. Use search to find and open WordPad. Read the title. Have NVDA report the item which currently has focus. Close WordPad without saving. Open the Start menu and find an item on it. Read the title and focus information. Close the Start menu without opening anything. 4 basic.
Alright, so yeah, I'm going to go back and do that final activity to round out this speed run.
Open the Start menu and having NVDA report the name Windows Review. Activity, getting started with. Activity. Getting started with Windows Review. Open the Start menu.
Okay, so to open the Start menu, I press the Windows key, which is Super in Talon. Listen, Super.
Start window. Search window. Search box edit blank.
Use the search.
Activity. Getting started with Windows Review. Open the Start menu. Use search to find and open WordPad.
Okay, so I have to spell out the starting letters of WordPad. Listen, whale odd red.
WordPad, app 1 of 1 level 1.
Listen, enter.
War. Document WordPad window. Rich text window edit multi-line blank.
Okay, so if I want to do the next thing.
Activity. Getting started with use search to find and open. Use search to find and open WordPad. Read the title.
Okay, so I need to read the title. Listen, NVDA Trap.
Document WordPad.
Okay, so I read the title.
Have NVDA report the item which currently has focus.
Unknown unavailable. Restart to install the newest Windows feature update window. Remind me later button. Document WordPad window. Rich text window edit multi-line blank.
Okay, so Windows just interrupted me and I got rid of it, and we're going to do that again. Okay, have NVDA report the item which currently...
Close WordPad without saving. Open the Start menu.
Listen, Super Trap.
Running applications toolbar. File Explorer button.
Listen, Trap.
Talon shortcut, 2,
Listen,
button.
Escape. Listen, NVDA Trap.
Taskbar.
Okay, the taskbar has focus now because... Listen, Focus.
Running applications list. Document WordPad row 1 column 1.
Listen, Enter.
Document WordPad window. Rich text window edit multi-line blank.
Alright, there I am. I'm back at WordPad now using the focus command, which is not in this tutorial, but the focus command opens up the Windows switcher, which makes it easier to get back to where I was. And now I want the title, which is the NVDA key plus the T key, which is Listen, NVDA Trap.
Document WordPad.
Okay, and now I want the system focus, which is the NVDA key and the Tab key. Listen, Tab. Listen, NVDA Tab.
Rich text window edit focused multi-line.
There we go.
Open the Start menu and find an item on it.
Listen, Super. Listen, Super.
Start window. Search window.
Listen.
Search box edit blank. All apps list.
Listen.
Suggested grouping. Shop Microsoft Store.
Listen down.
Free online grouping.
Listen down.
3D viewer.
Listen down.
A grouping.
Listen, Bat.
B grouping. Booking.com partner app.
Listen, Cap.
C grouping. Calculator.
Okay, so a way that I could practice the Talon phonetic alphabet in a useful way is by iterating through the applications in the Start menu, which are apparently sorted in alphabetical order. Listen, Drum.
D grouping. Dragon folder. Collapsed.
Listen, Each.
E grouping. eBay.
Listen, Fine.
F grouping. Farm Heroes Saga.
Listen, Gust.
G grouping. Get help.
Okay, so now I need to read the title and focus information. Listen, NVDA Trap.
Search.
Listen, NVDA Tab.
Get help list item focused.
Okay, and that is all of Chapter 3. And so some incorrect bits of information in Chapter 3 is that, no, you cannot get everywhere in the Start menu with just the arrow keys. You have to use the Tab key and to go, quote, forward to the next panel. And you have to use the Alt-Tab key to go, quote, backwards. So on Windows 11, the Start menu opens up to the application list, but to the left is the list of things that lets you do stuff like shut down the computer, and to the right is a bunch of random junk that I guess Windows thinks that you might want easy access to, but as far as I know, nobody ever uses the right panel. But just be aware that in order to get everywhere in the search menu, you need to be able to press the tab to go forward and the Alt tab to go backwards by panel, and the Windows Start menu is a 3-panel deal. Anyway, so that's a thing. And that is
Roy's Fiber Internet OBS Studio.
use Talon Voice Control, heavily customized, to be able to use. Okay, so here's a cool bit. Be able to use both a screen reader and voice control software on the same computer with no headphones, in such a way that the screen reader talking through the speakers does not give orders to the computer through the microphone. There's three tools that I use to make this a usable experience, and the first was based on the children's game Simon Says, where if you say Simon Says, you're supposed to do whatever the person who said Simon Says, and if they don't say Simon Says, you're supposed to ignore them. So my computer is set up to ignore everything that doesn't come, that isn't prefaced by the word listen. I also have the word dictate set up, but listen is the key one for this one. So it will only take orders that start with the word listen, which means that I can get my phone to read out loud this chapter of a book, and I can get my computer to read out loud everything a screen reader reads out loud, and I don't have to be wearing headphones because my voice control software, Talon, is literally ignoring everything that does not come, that is not basically a Simon Says. So if I don't say listen to my computer, it won't do anything, and that makes this whole process usable. The second component that I'm super proud of to make this process more usable is this thing likes to talk. The screen reader is very verbose, so if I hiss at it, it will stop talking. That's cool. I guess it's not like the most critical thing, but actually no, I think it's critical. That's why I built it. And then the third thing to make this thing usable is, in order to get this working, I need NVDA running, and I need Talon Voice Control running. The difficulty is that Talon Voice Control boots up and immediately starts listening for commands. I've set things up with my customization so that when Talon is in sleep mode, it will only wake up when you tell it to listen first and then execute a command. But having a screen reader on, not having headphones on, and then booting up a voice control program that immediately starts listening and very eagerly interpreting everything that it hears as a command makes your computer go wild and do all sorts of things that you don't control and didn't order. So The third thing that I did was I made Talon boot up into sleep mode, specifically so that it only pays attention to commands that start with listen. And that's actually pretty darn usable. So cool.
Taskbar.